Who's the best creator to work with?
You're putting me on a spot here, yo. I think that's the first time I've ever done something as dramatic as that, and I was surprised that he actually got caught.
Did you think he would become a Premier League footballer so young?
Fair play to him. He's like the blueprint for all up-and-coming young talent. Don't come for me, guys, yeah? I'm just saying it. That's just my opinion, innit?
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Rootz TV, man. Here in North London, joined my mum guy, Melvin, bro.
My bro, man.
Yo,
long time no see, man.
Yo, how are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you, bro?
Yeah, not too bad, man, not too bad. Look what you brought me to, bro.
Obviously today, like, weather was like the usual weather. Didn't expect it, but
English weather.
just due to schedule, we had to bring you here, man. Apologies, bro.
Nah,
but
that's cool, man.
Appreciate you coming down, man.
This is grassroots, man. You got the cages over there.
Yep.
Got tennis courts behind us as well, man.
You've got the green grass, man. The Sunday League.
Yeah.
Sunday League green grass here, innit?
Hey, listen, don't get much more Sun League than this, bro.
100%, bro.
How are you, though? You right?
Yeah, I've been good, bro. Been blessed,
what have you been up to?
Been busy, man. Busy. Content, YouTube.
I see you're
man.
a content creator now, yeah?
Yeah. Creator now, working with brands as always. Business side of the media game, I'd say, and business side of football, I'd say, innit? Mainly, innit?
What made you switch up, though? Because, again, you solely focus on trying to make it and all the rest, which is great.
Yeah.
But, again, now you're in, like, the social side of things, creating content, that business side. What made you switch up?
What's interesting to me is what I've realised is there's a lot of people that have started out in their careers, and whichever industry that they've been in, whether it's like music or football, fashion or food, they've started out as being like, let's say, the individual trying to make it in that field of interest, and then you've got to realise that you ain't gonna be an individual in that field of interest forever. Like, nothing lasts forever.
Have a plan B, basically.
Yeah, there's an expiry date on every single talent, innit? No one plays forever, innit? So. Like, what I've realised is everyone kind of transitions into like the business side of things, or they transition into like their interest, let's say, innit? For me, like, these are things that I'm interested in. These are the things that I've kind of rebranded myself into, I'd say, innit? Yeah.
So Mint and Madness, what's that about? Talk to me about it.
Mint and Madness is a show with your favourite footballers, creators, influencers, and it's just bringing them onto my platform, whether it's gaming, whether it's football challenges, whether it's a conversation per se. And it's just bringing them onto my platform and sharing like their sort of backstory and their successes with my audience, really. Yeah,
that's sick, man. And again, you're still doing the goalkeeping, you still playing?
Yeah, so still playing part-time, Brentwood Town, Step 4. Fortunately, last season we lost in the playoff final. We lost on penalties in terms of trying to get promoted. So this season's we're only a month into the season this season, but don't know if you saw the infamous slip of myself. Yeah,
listen,
that went viral.
We're going to talk about that.
But yeah, that's where I'm at, playing Step 4 at the moment, Brentwood Town.
Okay, so again, let's talk about it right now then. You went viral, bro. I'll see the Smiths video on the road. If you guys ain't seen it, make sure you check it out.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I recognise that guy. Did you slip over or did you mean to?
No, I done that intentionally, and that game was back in May, I believe, or April. And it was April. Yeah. And long story short, we was playing a playoff semi-final. Yeah. It was 1-1 or 2-1 at the time, from what I remember. It was extra time.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I did say that to the coaching staff and the players, like, if we was winning, I was going to waste time. I think that's the first time I've ever done something as dramatic as that. And I was surprised that he actually got caught in terms of on camera, because I didn't know that the Smithy guy was there until after the game. So obviously after that, everyone was just sending it to me after the game, and it just went super viral. So there was actually two moments. There was that moment, and then the part where they actually had a chance of scoring and hit the bar, hit the post, made a save.
On the left, brilliant skill there. Could still try for the shot, being saved there, but it could be a rebound. Oh, it's in the back. Still a good chance here for Berry though. Try for the shot. Oh, what a save. Oh, it's in the post. What's gone on there?
Sky Sports went to clip that and repost that as well. So there was two viral moments, and like, football's crazy, innit? You never know who's watching, innit?
Yeah, it's probably part of the dark arts, you know. When I seen that, I was like, I was howling, bro. I was howling. I was like, yo, you're either a fantastic actor or you just had like the worst boots ever.
Nah, and I got to appreciate Clinton for obviously reposting that as well. So he obviously saw the clip, reposted on Twitter, and obviously it was flying off everywhere. So yeah, man, I shout out Emi Martinez. That's from his handbook, I'd say, innit?
Yeah. Who would you kind of base your game around? Like, what sort of keeper?
It's a good question. I kind of look at every goalkeeper, I'd say, innit? And try and take bits out of it. So whether it's Edison's distribution, or whether it's Courtois taking crosses, or whether it's a David De Gea's shot-stopping ability, I kind of take out every type of goalkeeper. I'd say goalkeepers I kind of grew up watching, I'd say, is Petr Cech from my era growing up when I was young. Dida, Brazilian goalkeeper. He won the Champions League and the World Cup with Brazil. AC Milan as well, and then the final one was Buffon, whose longevity was insane, innit? So, yeah, my goalkeepers that I grew up with were from like the older generation. So yeah.
What about the generation now we're going through now? Like anyone?
I say generation now goalkeepers are like Alisson, Edison. I'd say they're probably the best two, and they're most consistent over the last 5 years per se. So they're the two that I'd say I kind of like a lot.
When we last spoke, we had a conversation about black goalkeepers. I don't know if you still feel the same, or you felt, because obviously you're a black goalkeeper yourself. Black goalkeepers got kind of a negative connotation around them. Like, is that still you still feel now?
I think the generation we live now, we're seeing more black goalkeepers emerge. Recently we had Edouard Mendy play for Chelsea in the Premier League. And there's Mike Magnon who plays for AC Milan as well. So I think black goalkeepers are emerging. I think anything that has a stigma in society, at some point, like generations kind of overcome that and change it around. So and what I'm seeing is there's a lot of like youngsters that I'm seeing that I know that are playing at like Arsenal's 21s or Arsenal's youth team or Everton or different Premier League clubs are saying it. So there still is a stigma to a certain degree because there isn't a lot in the Premier League and there isn't a lot at the highest level. But I think that's something that will be overcome further down the line. It isn't as a big of a stigma as it was, let's say, like 10 years ago, I'd say.
Because again, it's almost like, I almost felt like it was treated a bit like clownish sort of thing. Like I remember David James back in the day, he used to have that, what was it, Calamity James, that stigma attached to it and all the rest of it now. And then I know people joke about it and all the rest of it, but again, you don't want that. Like, you want to be known as safe hands, innit? You don't want that flipping negative stereotype around you, innit? So I'm glad to hopefully see that change, innit?
Yeah, I always grew up being like the underdog, and I've kind of said this a lot on different platforms that I've spoken about in the past. I've always been the underdog. I've always had people judge me before they'd even see me play, just due to me being a black goalkeeper per se. But at the end of the day, in life, you just have to earn respect. You have to earn the right to prevail, I'd say. And I like to think that I've done okay so far in terms of achieving that.
No, you have, man. You've done your thing, man. Going viral and all sorts.
Appreciate it, man.
How's things going since the RB days? Because the reason why I say is I was in the RB office not too long ago, and I was just like catching up with Ernie and all the rest of it now. And I see like everyone's thriving, man. I see flipping Darius doing his thing now. He's just signed to another club. Iliman's playing in the Premier League now. So how's things going since then?
No, RB's been a crazy journey. I say when I first joined it, when we started the YouTube series, I'd say 6 years ago. If you go from there to now, like let's say just let's say half a decade, let's say, innit? All the boys have been amazing. Like shout out Darius, shout out Iliman, shout out all the boys that've gone on to become professionals or to go and achieve a lot of things, and also the directors as well. Jamie, Brendan as well, and also the core team at RB as well. Like everyone's really evolved, everyone's really grown up, and let's say, and really implement themselves within the football space, I'd say, innit?
Listen, it's so good to see where they've come. Like when I walked into the office, I'm like seeing, you know, plaques on the walls and shirts on the walls and the boot deals that they're doing with sketches and all the rest of it now. It's great to see, man. I just want to talk about Iliman. Like, did you think he would become a Premier League footballer so young?
It's a good question. I'm not going to lie and say that I thought he would become a Premier League footballer, but I would say that at the time when I first met him, he was an exceptional talent. And what I liked about him was he worked very, very hard. There's a lot of talented players that haven't got that sort of bite or that tenacious side to them, or that heart. And Iliman didn't really rely on his talent alone, I'd say. He really, really worked hard and grafted, done his extras. And it's no sort of surprise to me that he's thriving in it. Did I think that he would go to the heights that he did? Maybe not, but fair play to him, because he's gone and played at the World Cup. He's gone and been Sheffield United's best player about 2 or 3 years ago. Got a move to Marseille, played in the Europa League, currently playing in the Premier League, scored the other day for Everton. So fair play to him. He's like the blueprint for all up-and-coming young talent that see if non-league is the only way for you to try and break through into the professional game, there's other ways of trying to get into professional football, and that could be building up your profile online and building up an audience and a following, and you get opportunities through that. So man,
it's amazing to see. And even I left out another name, Ruben
Carvalho as well, another one. He recently signed up Maidenhead in a National League, a full-time club, a professional football club, let's say. So like him, Jaden Clark's at Gillingham. Like there's countless of footballers that's come through RB that's gone on to really, really prevail. So they gave us the platform, and ultimately it's down to you to go and do your thing, and thankfully for us, there's maybe 11, 12 players plus that's gone on to to become professional footballers. So
Crazy,
yeah, it's
that.
crazy, man.
Yeah. Is there any players from that batch that you played under or played with that you thought could have gone a bit further, or?
It's a good question. Barring the players that didn't become professionals, I'd say there's players that maybe they could still get that opportunity, but haven't had that opportunity that I think they were good enough. People like Dara, Hamza as well, Sinks. Like in my personal opinion, they're the type of boys that I played with for a sustained period of time, and they were very, very good players. Like had a lot of quality. Hopefully they still get the opportunity to become professionals in their careers. I'd say those players. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's good. And even Albie
as well. Yeah. Albie was with us from the start as well. Albie, good player, man. Very good player. Ball playing centre half.
Yeah, man. Like, do you watch a lot of Sunday League now?
No. Yeah. It's weird because at
you
the
guys
time,
were in that scene. Like that was peak times when you had you guys, you had
Essie
Takers,
Dons,
Baiteze, all of them.
Like under the radar. I think at the time I was consuming a lot of it because that was our sort of field of interest.
Scene,
and then once you kind of move on, you still watch it here and there, but obviously interest and stuff, obviously goes elsewhere. And about I still watch games here and there, like when Essie Dons will play like a Baiteze in an El Clasico game, or RB will have some of their non-league games that they still post and stuff. So I still watch some stuff here and there, not as frequent as I used to, I'd say, innit?
Okay, because again, you used to get compared a lot to Big G. That kind of rivalry, innit? Like two big teams. Yeah. And then you was in the both games, right?
Yeah.
The one at Barnet, and then there's one before that.
So the first game, which was I think our second or third ever game as an RB collective, they beat us 3-1 in South.
Okay.
And that's when that was like the start of RB, I'd say, innit?
Yeah.
And then obviously 2 years down the line before I obviously moved on, we beat them 2-0, innit? So they were good games.
That was a crazy game,
crazy games.
Because again, like the rivalry that was built up between you guys, obviously two monster powerhouses in the scene.
Yeah.
And then again, like you versus Big G, you had
both skippers as well.
Did he try and do that intimidation thing as well?
Yeah. And I always said to the boys that obviously I was aware of him doing that, and people were saying that to me, and I always said to him that if we do play them, which we actually ended up doing, I was just going to laugh in his face. And to be fair, that went a little bit viral as well in terms of my reaction to it, because most people, they get intimidated by him. And fair play to him, because he is a big figure, innit? And I've got a lot of respect for him as well. He's a very good guy. I know Jules personally, innit? So fair play to him. He intimidates players. You always want to have that edge on people before you actually play the football match. And for me, I just smiled, I just laughed. I kind of blocked it out, let's say, innit? And thankfully, like, it worked out in the end because we won the game, innit? So, yeah, man.
What do you make of their non-league journey and RB's non-league journey?
Like, yeah. So it's very similar. I was saying this to someone the other day. Someone was saying to me that, why isn't RB this how it used to be in terms of all of us at the start and what it is now? And it's very similar to, like, if you know #United. United started out as a Sunday team, as a team that has a platform to go and put social media content out there playing football, and then they've transitioned into non-league. And the way the footballing pyramid is in football is, if you're not in the first 4 top divisions of let's say the professional football, you kind of have to make your way up from the ground up, let's say, innit? And fair play to #United, they're in step 3 at the moment, but it took them years to get there, innit? And obviously RB and Essie Dons have kind of taken that route, and a few others as well. So it's a long grind, it's the long game.
You think it's the right decision to make?
I would say, if you're looking at it from a business point of view, then, like, if you're running a business, at the end of the day, football is a business, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, us as fans, us as consumers. If you're running it from a business point of view, it is a business, and you need to make things sustainable so that your profit and loss statements it aligns, basically, innit? So for them, business-wise, it makes sense. If one day in like 10 years' time, we come back to this video and RB are in League 2 and Essie Dons are in League 2, then they're going to look back on where they started. So business-wise, it makes sense. As a consumer and as a fan, football clubs are going to have ups and downs, innit? They're going to have periods of peak of people watching it in terms of consuming it, and there's going to be times of where people might not consume it as of much. So as a fan, it might not be the most pleasant, let's say, at this moment of time, but once they get to their targets and places business-wise, it will make sense.
You said as a fan, you referring to both of them or to one of them?
I think business-wise it makes sense. As a fan, I can understand why people might not consume it the way they used to.
You talking
if
about
that makes
SC
sense.
Dons or
Both. I'm talking about both because both are in the same boat now. SC Dons are in step 6, I believe, or step 7.
Step 6.
RB are still in step 6, trying to make it up. Hashtag United had to go through that journey, and now they're in step 3. So there is a sort of pathway to show that you can work your way up. There's teams like Wrexham's, as an example. There's teams like Dorking Wanderers that I wouldn't say Wrexham, but say Salford's another one. Yeah. They've had to come through non-league. Yeah. Obviously, money and stuff makes it helps. It kind of growth hacks your sort of acceleration. But all of that stuff helps. And now Wrexham are an established global football club, and Salford as well. They're backed by Man United's legends, innit? So business-wise, it makes sense. As a fan, I can understand why people have backlash on it. Yeah.
It'll be an interesting one to see how it pans out.
Yeah, I think it will work. I think it will work further down the line, though.
No, I wish them both the best as well.
Same.
Yeah. Who's the best player that you worked with? Because again, you've done a lot of brand shoots and stuff like that. Who would you say is the best player that you've worked with alongside?
Good question. Done a lot. There's a few I'd say that probably stick out. Say England's captain Harry Kane's probably the biggest. I'd say. Worked with Harry. Done Skechers football with him. Their boot release, which was quite big. That was just over a year ago. Worked with Adidas with Pedri as well. I'd say that's big as well. Barcelona's young prodigy, Pedri. Declan Rice is another one as well. So I'd say they're the big 3 that I've been blessed and privileged to work with.
And then who would you say was I don't want to say meaty, but who was the player that you were like, I thought you'd be a bit better?
That's a good question. No one's ever asked me this before, you know. A player that I thought would be better than what I expected.
Yeah. Or could have brought more. They might have just come on the shooting area just a bit.
No energy.
Yeah. So I don't want to disrespect their team.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, you know. That's a good question, you know.
If you don't want to say it's cool, but
I'll come back to that question. I have to think about it. No one's ever asked me that before. I'll come back to that question at the end.
Okay. Right. I've got a game for you there whilst you think about that.
Okay.
Right. It's called. I'll call it red card, yellow card, basically. Okay. I'm sure you've seen a few of these. In your time, yeah. I'm talking about red cards.
Best boots you've bought? I would probably say back in the day. I don't know if you guys will remember. Nike used to bring out the Hypervenoms.
Okay.
The Hypervenoms, the original Hypervenoms. I can't remember what year it is. It might have been 2017, 2018, 2019 maybe.
Did they discontinue them ones?
I think they've evolved it into the Magistas now and the Phantoms, so they've kind of evolved it. But I remember back in the day, Wayne Rooney had them. They were like black and orange ones.
Yeah.
I would say, innit? So the Hypervenoms, I'd say that they were probably the best. I'd probably say I'd bought.
Okay. I was more of a Copper Mondial.
Is it, yeah? Adidas guy, yeah? Fairs. One rule football should introduce. Has to be something around goalkeepers. You don't get enough protection anyway. I know, but we need more, I'd say, innit?
How do you get more protection for goalkeepers?
I would say the 6-second rule is, I'm not having that, by the way.
The 6-second rule is the worst rule because, again, no one
follows it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you guys hold it for an eternity.
At least 15 seconds. But I would say, if you're a goalkeeper, you'd understand this. Say, for example, you come and take a cross, or you have the ball in your hands and you're still in play and you're in your area. Strikers are not allowed to stand in front of you when you're about to hit a sidewinder. Strikers, they kind of put you off because they're standing at the edge of the box. You scream to the referee and say, ref, like, he can't stand right in front of you. There should be a rule where strikers should be able to stand like 5 yards away, I'd say, innit?
Yeah.
Not directly in front of you, because sometimes that can impact your kicking or your distribution, especially when it's windy, when it's cold, or when you're trying to play quick as well. So that's something. So one might say, is it that deep? I would say for goalkeepers, it is, yeah.
Fair enough.
The best player in the world right now. It's interesting because, like Jude, Vinicius, they're probably the favourites to win the Ballon d'Or. Rodri as well.
Yeah.
Do I think they're the best players? On form, maybe. Me personally, I've been having this conversation a lot with like friends and stuff and my audience. Personally, it might be controversial. I think Vinny is the best player right now. It's controversial because there's Erling Haaland, there's Mbappe, there's Vinny, there's Rodri. I think closely by Rodri as well. I say Vinny probably deserves it to win the Ballon d'Or.
But Vinny's got a Champions League medal.
He's got a Champions League medal, and for me, he's done well before Mbappe come. And end of September. So don't come for me, guys. Yeah, I'm just saying it. That's just my opinion, innit?
Right, I'll do a couple more. I noticed that you keep going for yellows, isn't it?
Yeah, let me go for reds.
You're dodging the reds.
Red might be brutal. One thing they should remove from football. Oh, that's a good question. What should they remove?
The 6 second rule. Make it 15 seconds, make it more realistic.
You know what I think? I think they should remove, and I think obviously it's business at the end of the day. We've got Sky Sports, we've got these big platforms that bring on outfield players to come and criticise goalkeepers, and there isn't enough goalkeepers that play the game at the highest level representing goalkeepers on them big platforms. And I think what they need to remove off the panel is outfield players, let's say the Roy Keanes and the Michael Richards. I don't think Michael Richards really critics like Jamie Carragher and that. Yeah. It is business, I understand it, because it's marketing, it gets people talking, it gets me talking and stuff, but I think there needs to be a goalkeeper that has played in the past, or a current goalkeeper with a Roy Keane or with a Gary Neville, with a Jamie Carragher, like going back and forth on their comments, because
who would you say? Who would you say would represent the goalkeeping?
Maybe like a Joe Hart, maybe like a Peter Schmeichel, getting them on the Sky Sports panel. We've got Daniel Sturridge, he's joined recently now. So there's a lot of outfield representatives, but there isn't enough full goalkeepers, I would say, in it. So
the GK Union.
Yeah. Represent us more, give people more of an insight of what goalkeeping is, because when you hear an opinion about something, sometimes that kind of shapes your mentality about something. When there's things like no man's land, or the goalkeeper should do this, or the goalkeeper should do that, there should be someone opposing that, so it gives an intellectual conversation on things. I understand it.
Because we've got like shows for referees and stuff. Now. So again, it needs, because goalkeeping is almost like a different art.
Obviously we're individual in a team sport, is a specialised position, but I think they need to remove just outfield players speaking about it only. There needs to be opposing arguments on both sides of the spectrum, I think, innit? Okay. But I understand why they do it, for clicks, for views, for talking points, so it's the game, innit? Let's go for the top one. 5 football cliches in 10 seconds.
Hold on,
Let's get the timer. When we're saying football cliches, are we saying stuff like a football cliche is no man's land, like buzzwords, phrases? Phrases, just phrases.
Right, you ready?
Okay, cool.
3, 2, 1, go.
No man's land, pull it on his left foot, don't let him shoot. Are these cliches? The goalkeeper should have done better. He celebrated against his old club.
But yeah, stuff like that. What's a common one? Put it in the mixer, is that one?
Put it in the mixer.
He doesn't want it.
He doesn't want it, yeah. They're like your typical Sunday league shouts, I'd say. So yeah.
All right, cool. Before you go, give me your best keepers. Oh, do you watch Sunday League still though?
Not as often as I used to. That. I'm not really. It's only the big sort of platforms that I look at here and there, but I don't consume as I used to.
So what platforms do you watch now then? Like
SC Dons here and there, a bit of Under the Radar here and there, Baiteze here and there, and RB. They're the only ones I kind of see, you know.
They're the main ones.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say I consume. I know there's plenty of others. But I don't consume. I'm not really aware of what's going on unless I have a conversation with someone. So I wouldn't really say I'm knowledgeable on what goalkeepers at what club and etc. innit?
Okay. And who would you say is the best goalkeeper in the world right now, in your opinion?
Good question. I would have said Courtois, but he's been injured for about a year. And he's only just come back. Fair play to him, done well. Champions League started the season as well. I'll probably say Alisson Becker, Yeah, for me. It's been very consistent since he's been at Liverpool for the past 5-6 years. Him and Edison have been going back and forth, I'd say. But I think Alisson's just got a bit more to his game and is a bit more consistent in terms of his output. That's just my opinion, innit?
Okay. And what's next for you, man? Talk me through the next year. What's the plan?
Plans, YouTube, I'd say, Minter Madness. Make sure you check it out. I'd say just being consistent with that. Just doing more brand work with partners and obligations. Business side of the spectrum, I've got another business venture, Fly for Sport, and for us, we provide organisations, grassroots football clubs, and different companies with goalkeeping coaches. So me and my business partner, shout out Mitak, we've created programs for goalkeepers. We understand that people need goalkeepers, people need goalkeeping coaches. You go to any football club outside of professional football and they've got outfield coaches, let's say, assistant manager, physios. Everything's catered for the outfielders because there's more outfielders than goalkeepers, isn't it?
Even I noticed, like, for warming up as well, like, goalkeepers just like, hey,
do their
test
own
him
stuff.
up.
Yeah. So we realise there's a gap in the market. Obviously, with my knowledge and my expertise and my experiences, we've put programs together as our Fly for Sport, and for us as goalkeepers, you understand that you have to be solid at the basics. Every goalkeeper should be adequate enough to be a good shot stopper. That's your job, essentially, at the end of the day. Same way, an outfielder needs to pass the ball to a certain standard, innit? So I think a lot of people see goalkeeping as 90% of shot stopping, but there's way more to that. There's communication, 1v1s. How can I come and sweep up? How can I distribute the ball? How can I lead my team as the last line of defence? How can I deal with the pressure of mistakes, controversy, not playing, all of them things as a goalkeeper. So we put programs together, we provide organisations with the coaches, and then we're documenting that, and we only just started about a few months ago. So for us, that's another thing I'd say. So they're the main three: Minter Madness, Fly for Sport, and then just brand stuff that I'm currently doing.
Do you have any like top tips for any young goalkeepers, like 5 top tips of what they should be working on?
Yeah, I'd say 5. I'd say 1 is make sure you're solid at the basics, or the core basics of just down to the nitty gritty, the boring stuff that doesn't get pushed on social media. So your handling, your low dives in terms of your angles of diving, like your pickups, distribution, being comfortable with the ball at your feet as a modern day goalkeeper. So the basics, let's say. Decision making is very, very key in football. So no matter what position you play, you have to make decisions in less than a second. Whether that is the ball goes over the top and you have to come and head it out because it's outside of your box, or whether you have to come and take a cross and then hit a sidewinder to your right winger. So decision making is very, very key, I would say, and what decisions you make that impact a game. Basics, decision making, concentration is another thing.
I saw what Ramsdale come out.
I was just about to say that. Shout out Aaron Ramsdale. I've never met him before, but obviously, unfortunately, he come out with something that backfired on him, let's say, innit? And he spoke about how he can't concentrate. I'm sure a lot of goalkeepers face that as well. Me personally, I wouldn't say that I suffer from that. I kind of keep myself locked in on the game because anything can happen at any time. But I think if you can work on your decision making, your concentration, whether that means working on, for me personally, I have meditation things that I work on, deep breathing techniques that I have people that have helped me with the psychology of the game, reading books. They're the boring stuff that doesn't get pushed, but that's what helps me in terms of my concentration. So that's what I would say. I'd say basics, decision making, concentration, football IQ, understanding the game, whether that means you consuming football more, reading the game in terms of watching it, or going to watch it in real life. So understanding the game. The best players are always the smartest, I'd say, innit?
Yeah.
Whether you're a Cristiano Ronaldo and a Mbappe, or whether you're Bukayo Saka, or whether you're just an Alisson Becker, like whatever position you play, they understand the game more than everyone else. They scan, they read the game, they do everything that's needed to contribute to their team, innit?
Yeah, of course.
And then finally, last, one more, I would probably say is
Diet?
hard. Yeah, I'll probably just say hard work, really, like putting extras, whether you're a professional footballer, an academy player, grassroots, non-league, whatever you do at your club's not enough. You kind of have to do more, and it makes sure you do extras outside of that, just so you can have the edge on your teammates and the goalkeepers you're competing with. So I'd say, those 5 things, innit?
Lastly, I'm going to ask one more question before you go. When you're on the bench as a goalkeeper, how do you stay motivated as well? Because obviously you're pretty much relying on the person in front of you to mess up, basically, to get your opportunity. Unless it's like a cup game, you might get a run out. How do you stay motivated? How do you stay ready in that position?
It's hard. That's hard because as a goalkeeper, you're either in or you're out. You're playing or you're not playing, and it's like you have to believe in yourself even when others don't, or even when you start having doubts about yourself, innit? So all I'll say is you've got to look at the big picture all the time, innit? And think that you're one suspension away of getting in, or you're one that loss of form from the other goalkeeper playing ahead of you of getting in. So for you've got to look at the long term, train well, stay focused, stay positive, have a good support network around you, because you can't do things on your own. You're going to get down sometimes. You're going to be discouraged, I was saying it.
Are you ever like wishing badness on the person in front of you? No, this is it, man. Again, it's like, I want to play. Like, say for example, the Raya and Ramsdale situation. Like, surely Ramsdale was thinking in the back of his mind, can he just slip up? I hope we win, but again, just slip up that one time. Yeah. And then I'll get. I
think if you're, as a footballer, you'll be lying if you don't. I wouldn't say wish the worst, but you wouldn't want the team to do well when you're not involved, let's say, innit? You might not be wishing the worst on a particular player, because sometimes I believe what goes around comes around to a certain degree. I can wish bad on someone, but that can happen to me further down the line. But you wouldn't, if you're not playing, you wouldn't want the team to do as well as if you was playing, innit? So
you want to be part of the success.
Like you want to contribute. Like sometimes when the team's successful and you haven't been involved in it, you kind of feel like, or you kind of think to yourself, I'm not a part of this because I didn't contribute towards this, innit? So that's what I would say, innit? Yeah, that's what I'd say, to be fair.
Okay.
Your final question, innit?
Yeah, you got to ask that question, man.
That's a hard question. Do you know what it is? I haven't had a bad experience here, but I would probably say, don't kill me for this. I would say I done something with, and I don't know if he was having a bad day or whether for him, and to be fair, he did say to me that they had a long bit of training, and for them, the next part was them just doing their media shoot and then they're off about their day.
Yeah.
I would say, shout out Thomas Muller. Done something with him at Adidas just over a year ago. I went to Bayern Munich.
Great energy, no?
Great energy to a certain degree, but also as well, kind of distant as well. They had training, they had a lot of media stuff that they were doing on the day as well. So shout out Thomas Muller. And it might have just been my experience with him personally. It was just the only time I'd met him.
Yeah.
On the day was great, but at times was a bit distant.
Yeah.
Did say to me he had a long day and he just wanted to get things done, innit? So I wouldn't say I had a bad experience with him, but he's just someone that I would say that, I wouldn't really say he's one for football challenges. He's more of someone he's good at what he does on the football pitch, innit?
Yeah.
Thomas Muller's a legend, let's say, innit? Yeah. So he'll forever be remembered for his contributions on the football pitch, but there's some players that they can translate that into football challenges, let's say, innit?
Yeah.
When we on football challenges, like sometimes you think that someone that does something on the football pitch at the highest level can do the same thing when it comes to like little football challenges, and it just wasn't the same thing. So shout out Thomas Muller though, man. Like, good guy, innit?
Surprised, man.
Yeah, man.
I thought you would have been a great person. Again, another thing, another personality, PK Humble. You flirted with him. How is he?
Yeah,
is he really like that in person?
Really, really like that. And what's funny is a lot of people say to me like, how comes PK's doing so much things like now, like I'm doing stuff with him with Sky, and he's doing a lot of things on other big platforms. He's got Filthy Fellas, he's obviously with Hashtag, he's doing a lot of other things as well. And PK, if you are an OG Rising Ballers supporter, you remember PK was in maybe the first ever episode. We played Baiteze. Yeah. And PK played in that game. I think that was one of the earliest times I met PK. I can't remember if I met him before that. And he was always this character, this personality in the changing rooms. He's always been like that. And for some people, they think that it's something new that he's kind of brought into him because he's kind of had a similar journey to myself, played football, come through non-league. He went to Colchester to become a professional. I had my sort of professional sort of time as well, and then now we're both creators. He's obviously doing that on a bigger scale, and he's thriving, and what he's doing, and I'm happy for him, and he's doing well, and obviously we're doing our bits with Sky at the moment. But for him, he's always had that character, that high energy, always can't take nothing seriously. So when people say to me, Mel, like, why is PK like this? Why is he doing this? He's always been like that, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's only now, like, things are intensified because there's more cameras and he's putting it out there more, but he's always, if you know RB and you've seen RB from the start and you watch the earliest videos and all the guys that was with us at RB from the start, they'll all say the same thing. It's always been like that. He's a character.
Who's the best creator to work with?
You're putting me on a spot here, you know.
Oh, sorry, this is the final one. Best creator, because I'm seeing, obviously, there's a lot of goalkeeper creators now. There's yourself, there's Big G, there's Big John, in fact, as well.
Yeah, shout out Big John as well.
And obviously, like, other creators that are off the pitch.
Are we talking about overall creators?
Overall, yeah. That you've worked with. Well, you know, in fact, no, let's put it overall.
Overall, there's some big ones, you know. Some big ones. We've got Billy Wingrove, we've got PK as well.
Yeah.
Steve-O, the Madman.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you got these lot on your channel as well, by the way?
Not yet. There's Iliman SV2.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's a lot of creators like Zane QF, Little JR. I've had a few on my channel so far. Looking to get obviously way more. I will probably say the best, if we're talking about just content creating, because there's different categories. If we're talking about vibes, there'll be one. Yeah. If we're talking about quality, there'll be another one. If we're talking about like just aesthetics, there's different categories, I'd say. I'd say just quality only. Personally, I'll probably say Billy Wingrove. Like F2 legends, if you know about F2. Legend, worked with him on Sky. And the League of 72. I'll probably say his tech is crazy, man. Yeah, left foot.
How many takes? I'm just answering the question, man. Come on.
Hey, Billy, if you see this, me and you know how many takes you do, innit? So obviously that's an unwritten rule. I'm not gonna leak any inside information, but let's just say Billy's left foot is a joke, I'd say, innit? Okay. So I'd say content creation wise, if you want to create something from start to finish that will do well, Say Billy Wingo, personally, innit?
All right, cool. I'll find out, Billy, how many takes afterwards. Don't you worry, mate. But Melvin, it's been a pleasure, bro. Thank you very much.
It, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
and guys, make sure you subscribe to Melvin Minter Madness. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See you guys all in a bit.